All right, welcome everyone to episode I actually don't even know anymore of Around the Controller. Usually a bi-weekly production. We took a break due to a little bit of schedule conflicts, working, being a little burnt out, so took a break for an episode. But we're back, and this week we are going to bring to you mechanics that we're surprised are not in a bunch of video games. So that'll be our topic. I'm your host, David. We're using real names now too, so that's exciting. I'm joined by the king of all Kaisers, Zach.
Hey, that's my real name. It feels weird to be introduced as that now, but hey.
The guy who likes fishing minigames in his video games, Chris.
If it ain't fishing minigames, I don't fucking want it. Also, you guys had banana chips? Pretty good.
Yeah, they're good.
Oh, they're great. They're so good.
Banana chips are solid. And the most dapper of dastards, Rich.
What's up?
Okay. We start the show off each time with what have we been playing? And it's been a long time since we had an episode. So, Zach, What have you been playing in the past, month, maybe more?
There was a game I played. Man, it's wild. I didn't expect to be asked this question right now.
I played video games once. They burned down years ago.
That is what it feels like. I haven't touched my Switch in weeks. What the fuck? Oh, Microsoft Flight Simulator. I have played that. Turns out flying an actual plane is very hard. In fact, to the point that I would maybe say it's not fun for some people, including me. I had planned on doing a video of recreating cool movie flights. What's that? What is a singular famous movie flight? Sully? How about Sully?
It's a real short
Sully?
flight.
Exactly. Mark in the chat says snakes on a plane. That's a much better choice.
What about my idea of solving all of the great mysteries of the sky? What happened to Amelia Earhart, you bastard? Why did those crabs kill her?
Exactly. That would have been a good idea. I did half of the tutorial lessons, which is maybe my fault, but I took over a half an hour to take just half of the tutorial lessons. Turns out it takes more than an hour to learn how to fly a plane. I don't really want to then.
What?
And I was like, okay, I learned how to pilot this baby plane. Let me just take off in a Boeing 747 out of JFK, and I'm going to fly over to where my house is in Manhattan. And I took off, realized I was going over the ocean, and I was like, okay, I got to turn around. That's fine. And instantly, air traffic control is pinging me like, hello, flight, blah, blah, blah. You're going off track. What are you doing? Flight, blah, blah, blah. Please respond. Please respond.
Free fly?
You can, but there's you got to check a bunch of shit off.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is going on? I don't know how to respond to them. I barely know how to fly a plane, let alone respond to air traffic control. and eventually they just stopped calling me. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to fly. I was supposed to go to New Jersey. And I was like, okay, I'm going to make a big reroute to go to Manhattan. And I got to the tip of southern Manhattan, and all of a sudden the screen just went black, and it was like, too much of the plane got damaged from your bad flying. And I was like, I didn't hit anything. I'm just flying.
For your sins, your sky sins.
So
yeah, apparently the game has a very strict policy against showing actual plane crashes. So the screen will just instantly go black the second something goes potentially wrong with your plane.
I can understand
that.
I'm
of two very strong minds of that's a good idea, and fuck that just robs me of my fun. But it is
hardcore sim, you're not supposed to crash.
I understand.
Now, were the air traffic controllers, was that part of the game, or was that some of the people that role play air traffic controllers? Because I know both of them exist.
That kicks so much ass.
It was the game. They were very monotone.
That's a little less exciting. But I watched a couple videos about it because I have no desire to install that game. It's just too big, and I have a data cap.
Same.
And I've seen videos where people are like, "Oh, the air traffic controllers that are role playing are hilarious."
Also, it literally takes up Arcade fan clipped name a famous movie flight because I literally couldn't. I looked up like there's so many great clips of people like flying into because the game does an amazing job of like actually recreating real weather across the planet as it happens. So people are flying into the tropical storm right now, which is hilarious to me.
Whoa, that's cool. I didn't know that did that.
Yeah, the team behind it like spent a ridiculous amount of time and effort like trying to recreate weather in real time as it happens.
That Bill Gates money, baby.
Well, I think the team for this game is actually relatively small. It's not a huge team.
That's wild. But a cool game. You just have to care about realistic recreations. Meanwhile, I guess I'll stick to like truck driver. What is like truck driving?
Euro Truck?
Yeah, Euro Truck. That was like the most sim vehicle game that I enjoyed relatively.
I don't know if it's me. I just can't enjoy Sims. Either the Sims or sim games. Either one.
I was gonna make that joke.
I don't know that I've ever played a real like hardcore sim game.
I definitely have not.
I tried Drive Club and I hated it.
I don't think I've done any of them. Like usually I could understand with like flights not being able to like go, oh, I'm gonna go fly a fucking plane, but like a Drive Club thing, it's like I'm just gonna drive. Like
that being said, when fucking Star Wars Squadrons comes out,
I'm well, get it now. Because there's already a shortage, dude.
That's true. I'll build my own.
That'd be interesting. Any other games, Zach? Or have you just been cruising on other stuff?
I would love to tell you that I've played a lot of games, but I honestly don't. I guess I played Ocarina of Time, one for my videos that I've done on it since then, and I've gotten into randomizers on it. They're basically there's a very easy way for you to get patches of the game that completely randomize a lot of things that you can choose. I enjoy having it randomized where items are in the game. So, like for example, I was playing the other night, and at the very beginning of Ocarina of Time, you get the Kokiri sword, and instead I got the slingshot, and I was like, okay, what does this mean for me? What can I do? I went to go where you buy the Kokiri shield, and I found the Megaton hammer, which you cannot use as a child. And I was like, okay, this does nothing. I guess it's time to leave Kokiri Forest.
Can't that very easily make the game uncompletable?
So there's actually a check you can do to make it so to prevent it from making the game unable to finish. But basically, usually when you're doing the randomizer, you have it so there's a lot of cutscenes that just get cut. For example, you can just leave Kokiri Forest at any time. You can enter Hyrule Field at the start, but cool. Like you have to go around and explore. And the Temple of Time is unlocked, so you can become an adult at any time. But like you might not have the items to do any of the temples.
Right.
So it becomes very confusing very fast. But it's fun.
Oh, pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. That's all I played. I'm pretty sure.
All right, Chris, what have you played?
Blaseball. Played a lot of Blaseball. I mean, no one truly plays Blaseball, but I have been. My coworker and I have been betting on Blaseball every game, every day. It's consumed our work time, but perfectly. You only get to actually interact with Blaseball for basically 1 minute every hour, so it's the perfect amount of like dicking around to keep you on track. It's great. The commissioner's doing a great job.
We're all enjoying the event that is Blaseball.
Exactly. Fuck it. We're not now all participating in the cultural event of Blaseball. Legends of Runeterra had the Targon expansion. Pretty good. Been loving like fucking around in labs on that shit. It's on my phone now. I can play it on the toilet. That's always good. Ghost of Tsushima, I haven't actually finished it yet, but I've been still slowly chipping away at it. It's a big game with a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah.
Speaking of fucking surprisingly big games, Spiritfarer, which came out last week. Or was that 2 weeks ago now? I think it's just last week.
Just last week, I think.
That's probably my game of the year.
Wow.
Okay.
Look.
I've heard
some indie bullshit? Does it have a good soundtrack? Does it have various mini games? Is it pretty? I'm probably gonna fucking like it.
Question: is there a fishing mini?
There is, and the
Okay,
fishing
well, that
game
makes
at
sense.
first seems incredibly bare bones, but then gets more in depth.
God damn it.
It's how you get your boy.
More in depth.
Spirit Fair is a good game. I think that might actually be most of what I think. I mean, look, I've been playing League of Legends. I listened to the mediocre new KDA song. What do you want from me?
Damn.
It was hella mediocre, wasn't it?
It was the thing is, how is it supposed to follow a genuine bop?
I mean, you can also just make a second genuine bop and
That-
not just do like a lyric video. Like
You know what? You can't argue with that. This man gets it.
Yeah.
no, they're saving that for the album.
Oh, is there a whole album coming?
It's coming out at Worlds.
aren't your singles supposed to be your big ones though? Then you can leave some other. Then you can leave the
Yes,
mediocre
but-
ones on the album.
At the end of the day, Riot Games doesn't know what the fuck they're doing with anything.
Oh
Look,
man,
look,
shocking.
Look, they've leaked the last 7 champions in a row. You think they can fucking handle anything?
I mean, I'd say what they can't handle: sexual harassment. Am I
Oh,
right?
I was gonna say HR. Damn.
Yeah, I think that's all the games I've been playing. I mean, we've been playing Super Mario Odyssey a little bit.
Have you played that
Ooh.
before, or just picking it up?
Yeah, I've beaten it. We were just
Okay.
replaying it.
Good. I was actually thinking about replaying it the other day.
I feel like I was playing something else that I can't remember now. I think it was an RPG. Oh, P4 Golden. Kind of dropped off it, honestly. It's a shame. Great game.
I heard a lot of people that had recently played like P5 or P5 Royal when they went and played Golden, it fell off for them because it was just so far behind P5.
Yeah. I mean, it makes me really think. Like, I mean, I know Atlas has named Persona as their now #1 priority franchise. But like, all right, hurry up and give me P6 already, because like, the PS5 needs it and I need it. So
Shocking everyone, it comes out exclusively on Xbox Series X in the West.
oh my god, what a fucking power move. Xbox is like, you guys always complain we don't have enough weird Japanese games. We bought Yakuza, we bought Sega, we bought fucking Persona.
We
Come on,
bought all the companies. I mean,
get over
they
here.
sort of did that for the 360, and it made people like me mad.
We bought Japan. We bought the entirety of Japan.
They got enough exclusives where it was
we
like
bought a prefecture, they couldn't stop us.
all of Tokyo Prefecture. There we go. Like, they bought enough on the 360 where it was like, I don't feel like I can buy a 360 for this, but
Yeah.
I already have a PlayStation, so fuck off. Because like, they had Tales of Vesperia, probably top 2 or 3 Tales games for pretty much everyone. Didn't play it until a couple years ago because it was on Xbox.
Apparently, is it Lost Odyssey was the one that everybody fucking loves?
Lost Odyssey,
Lost
Blue
Odyssey is
Dragon, and
great.
Tales of Vesperia were the big
Lost
Yeah.
three.
Odyssey is a great JRPG.
I think it's Tim Rogers, like one of his favorite games of all time, and he is a super Japanese dude. I mean, he lived in Japan for like 10 years.
Lived in Japan, knows Japanese, worked for
Yeah.
Sony. Yeah.
Yeah, worked for. Was it Sony? I don't know which.
Yeah,
company
he worked
was
for
exactly
Sony.
He worked for Sony. Gotcha.
He
I know
might
he
have worked
worked
for
with-
others.
I know he worked with Suda51 at one point, which is hilarious to me.
Yeah, that's
But-
fucking wild. Any other
Oh.
games?
Desperados 3.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
To quote Grenade Ball, the game's good. It's a good game. What do you want from me?
It's high noon. That's what I got.
Is it better, worse, equal to Shadow Tactics?
So far worse.
Okay.
But like, it's still very good. But it's like Shadow Tactics is one of like my like complete blowaway games. Has no right to be as good as it is. Yeah, that's really it. I mean, Shadow Tactics, Blades of the Shogun. Go play it right now. It's probably like fucking $10. It is the best stealth game since the original Thief.
Probably true.
Wow.
It goes on sale pretty frequently for under $10. So if
It's a
you're
great game.
if you're a
That is a
cheapskate
bold
or
statement.
just don't have the money, just wait and it'll go on sale.
I feel like the biggest thing I don't like at Desperados is that it has guns. So many of my solutions are just shoot a motherfucker.
Mm.
I mean, welcome to the Wild West. So many of the solutions were just shoot a motherfucker.
I mean, I
That's,
get it.
Indiana Jones versus that one guy, you know?
That dead guy? Yeah.
You know, very shortly after, yeah.
Chris, anything else?
Nah, I'm good.
All right, Pridge, what you got? What you been playing?
Played and finally beat Hollow Knight a few
Ooh.
weeks ago. Because I had played it, got really far, then just dropped off of it. So I decided to actually play through and finish it. Fantastic game. It's honestly like biggest problem is that it's actually too big. There's a little too much to do. But otherwise, it's an incredibly fun game. Otherwise, I've just been playing some Fire Emblem Three Houses, just feeling lazy and playing that some more.
You have so many hours on that, dude.
Yeah. I mean, I've beaten it at least 5 times.
Holy Christ.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you how like the new-ish DLC is, but like, good God.
I think Zach or maybe Dave said it. That game is the perfect example of too much value for your money.
I don't think Pridge believes in that statement.
I would, yeah.
There is simply too much game in Hollow Knight.
This is a man who rebought Xenoblade just to finish it again,
Just to play another 120 hours of that game.
just to feel.
And will Pridge play through it again later? Probably.
I mean, I should probably play the bonus story to Xenoblade at some point that came with the remastered edition, but
God,
it'll be a long time before I actually feel like playing the actual story again. But again, Hollow Knight, some Fire Emblem, a lot of Fall Guys, still amazing, and then just some scattered League, some scattered Legends of Runeterra, some scattered NBA 2K, but nothing else really too big right now.
Well, guys,
No Blaseball?
No, not yet.
I think Pridge got into that. It's funny.
better.
Like honestly, just the Twitters for Blaseball are funny. I don't even need to participate.
I mean, I'm like, I look. I work for a sports betting company. I guess I'm the target demographic for fucking Blaseball. I'm a nerd that works for a sports betting company. That being said, I'm actually just enjoying the fuck out of actually like betting and like participating in the cultural event that is Blaseball.
The betting is nothing for me. The betting is like, oh, I see. Hey,
so deep.
because it tells you, hey, this is the percentage that your team is going to win. And I say, okay, it's this. It's the higher number. I click bet all my money, go. But then you have the fan art, all of the like. If you do watch the games live, it'll be like, oh shit, the weather is an army of crows, and you're like, that's not weather.
Currently the weather is microphone feedback, except for Steaks versus Flower, which is in Peanuts, and Wild Wings versus Millennials, which is Solar Eclipse. Everyone else is under feedback though.
It's again the game. I will say, because they took like a week and a half off.
It was like
this week.
It was like 4 days.
The amount of changes that they did in those 4 days then is simply incredible. They've definitely made the game infinitely more interesting, and the fans are loving it. So
yeah, it's almost playoffs time. We're in day 92 of season 4. The Shoe Thieves are barely in playoff contention.
Listen, fresh breath until I die. You know what I'm saying?
The crabs are out. The claws are down. Claws are not up.
I don't know what any of it means, but it's still fucking hilarious.
Claws up is just what the Baltimore Crabs say. Claws up, baby.
It doesn't. You don't even need to explain it. It's still funny. There needs no explanation.
It's dumb.
Is the Baltimore Crabs theme just Crab Rave though? Because it should be. Okay, good.
I made that reference. My coworker didn't know what the fuck it was.
I'm assuming you changed that.
Oh yeah.
Okay, good. Good man.
There's like 300 million views on fucking YouTube. How the fuck is what?
Side note: I'm not one to suggest that people watching follow another Twitch channel. But apparently there is Blaseball Radio 2.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
On Twitch. God damn it. I'm gonna have to watch it.
Give it a follow. If you're watching, give it a follow.
Oh, fuck. And they have custom jerseys now people are trying to sell. Fuck.
All right. Well, speaking of Crab Rave, let's go into the games I've played. There is a relevant thing. I picked Beat Saber back up. Crab Rave is in there.
Yeah, no, I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you.
Yeah, there's a new Linkin Park DLC that came out, and you know, my teenage angsty years, they keep coming back. Love me some Linkin Park. Got that DLC, booted up Beat Saber again. It's pretty fun. Some of the maps aren't that great, but they did release like 12 or something. It's a lot more than any of the other DLC packs, so that's pretty cool. Lots of new songs. Beat Saber's still great. That's all I got to say on that.
Have you listened to the KDA song again?
The new one?
For the millionth time on
Or Pop Stars?
Pop Stars. Oh,
I did it like 3 or 4 times, yeah.
It's
still
the
good.
only song worth doing on PSVR version of the game.
It's great. I fucking love that song. So fun on Expert Plus, dude. So fun.
Mm-hmm.
So the other primary games I've played, Ghost of Tsushima. Played a lot of that game. Platinum that game. It's great.
Wow.
Super fun. I really enjoyed it. I don't think it's beating Final Fantasy yet for me for Game of the Year, but it's close. It's in contention. Which I didn't think would be the case at the beginning of this year. Boy, that game fucking slaps, man. Just like Jin Sakai's butt cheeks, dude. They slapping all over the place.
Oh my god.
I mean, there's a lot of Jin butt in that game.
If they're gonna show me as much of Jin's ass as they do, I just give him a better ass. It's a completely flat butt.
No, it's not.
He's got a little bit of taunch, but there's like, give me a nice juicy butt.
I mean, he's got a fit butt.
I mean, here's the thing.
Yeah, but you're riding a horse all day. You should have a great ass.
Manly butts aren't juicy, which is a problem and needs to be solved.
I agree with that.
Genetics, get on it.
Mine are already on that one. All right, so moving on to the next game, I picked up South Park: The Fractured But Whole.
Whoa! Speaking of butts,
yeah, I'm just transitioning. That one was unintentional, but such good transitions today.
Better bring it home for the next game.
That's not happening. So, The Fractured But Whole was very mediocre. Stick of Truth, fucking fantastic. Fractured But Whole downgrades it in almost every single way possible.
That's a bummer.
Which is a real bummer. It wasn't Obsidian for Fractured But Whole. It was the internal Ubisoft studio that did it. And the writing's worse. The game design is worse. The combat is worse. Honestly, for me, a lot of just the joke material was worse. It was basically a spoof on Marvel. Like, that was the whole thing, was Marvel and Civil War. Which
I do remember this now.
I honestly don't give a shit about Marvel, whereas the fantasy stuff in Stick of Truth, as a D&D nerd, I was all over that shit. So part of that's just the audience. I'm not the audience for the Fractured But Whole storyline. Overall, it was fine. I did the platinum because it was easy to do after I finished the game, but that's about it. Next, Uncharted 3. Uncharted 3 fucking sucks.
Yeah, get him.
Uncharted 1 was mediocre. Uncharted 2 was like good but not great. Uncharted 3 just sucks dick. Don't fucking bother playing that game. The story is bad. The game design in it is okay. There are whole sections that I'm just like, why is this in the game? You fight a pirate who has nothing to do with the entire rest of the game, and it's like 3 or 4 fucking levels of the game. No reason. It's dumb. It's horrible. Arcade fan, I like 3 less than 1. You know, 3 had some better mechanics than 1, but 1 honestly had better writing.
Wait. You actually think 3 is worse than 1?
Yes, it is worse than 1. 100% worse than 1. And even the mechanics they added are not done well. Like, they added throwing grenades back. Yes. But while you're in the middle of a giant fucking firefight, there's a bar for where you have to throw the grenade. It's like, oh, if I throw the grenade before, or try to throw the grenade before the bar, when the timer's got more time on it, you fuck up when you don't throw it. That makes sense. That's fun. That's good game design. No, fuck off. I mean, I'll give it. Their set pieces were better than 1. The graphics were better than 1. Like, that's all better. But mechanics and story mean more to me than the set pieces.
Anytime
I think
anyone
1,000,000,000%.
talks about Uncharted, my brain just hears. Zzz. I cannot force myself to care, and I feel like I might be able to like Uncharted if I actually could care about it. I can't. Nathan Drake is the worst protagonist. Don't
also,
care.
he is super unlikable in 3. He's a lot more likable in 1, which is a lot to do with it.
He's just so generic.
He's generic. He's unlikable in 3 because he's just a giant douche the whole time. Chloe and Cutter just fucking peace out partway through, and I'm like, cool. There go the cool characters.
There was
great.
There was a reason that happened in development. I think like the voice actors for it like dipped or something happened where like they couldn't
Did
and
they bring
had,
back
a story?
Whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. I don't care what the circumstances were. The end product was worse because of it. And like, it's overall bad. Like, I liked Cutter. I was glad that he was there. But then there's a part where he does a thing. I'm not going to spoil this fucking, like, 10-year-old game. But there's a part where he does a thing. And then these people, like, he basically kills people. And then they don't die. And they never explain that. And, like, that's never explained. There's a bunch of fucking spiders that exist for no real reason. That's never explained. There's so many things that I just dislike about this one compared to the previous games. The other ones at least try to explain things. This one's just like, nah, there's some fucking spiders. They're the size of everyone's head. There's a ton of them. Also, apparently, if you shoot some of them, the rest of them stop swarming you. That's cool. Like, I had so many issues with 3.
Damn, all right. I mean, it's been a while since I played 3, but you are very angry about it.
Like, 1 was fine. 2 was okay to good. 3 was bad. That's just it.
I think when it came out, I thought 1 was fine, and now looking back, I'm like, ugh. And then I played 2 and 3, and I was like,
listen, I'm playing the remasters on PS4, so most of the mechanics are pretty much at the same level for all of them.
Yeah.
So that is one caveat. So 1, I think, ages better than it would normally if I went back and played the PS3 version of
That's
all of
interesting.
them.
That's interesting.
I
have the remaster because it was for free on PS Plus, and I think I played the opening of 2, and I was like, this does feel dated.
Yeah, I mean, it still feels dated, but let's be real. I play a bunch of fucking old games. I have no issues playing dated games. I sit there and play fucking Psychonauts every year or two, and Beyond Good and Evil, and Tales of Symphonia.
But there's a difference between playing a game that you specifically love because you played it when it was old versus playing an old game fresh.
I go back and play old games fresh relatively frequently. That's not a new thing.
How about this? We agree to do a co-stream where I play Beyond Good and Evil and you watch me and you die inside as I complain about how old and dated this game feels.
I know exactly what you'll complain about. I'm aware. Like, I don't have any misconceptions that Beyond Good and Evil is a perfect game.
That's fair.
The camera's horrible. Like, that's the worst part.
The good news is Hayo just showed up in the chat and he says, I'm not even sure what Uncharted is. There you go, folks.
The last 11 minutes in which we talked about Uncharted, like, I love this channel. You guys are all great. That was the longest 11 minutes of my goddamn life.
Yeah, I was gonna say
we are taking forever to get to the top.
All right.
I do want to point that out.
I'll just mention the last 2 games I was playing. Played Among Us. It's a cool hidden role game. It's free on iOS and Android. $5 on PC. Play it. It's fun. It's like a more active Secret Hitler, essentially. Also played a bunch of Fall Guys. Pridge talked about it. Fall Guys is great. Play Fall Guys.
I also played that. I forgot to mention it. It's fun.
It's fun. And I started to play BioShock. I like it, but it's not a game I'm in the mood for right now, so I'll probably put it aside, because that game is pretty fucking heavy and dark, and I'm just not feeling that at the moment.
Yeah.
That's it. Fair. Let's get to the fucking topic of the show. Mechanics that we are surprised are not in, like, every game fucking everywhere. Does anyone want to start, or do you want me to start off?
We should just start with the one we're going to talk about.
Zach, since this is one of yours for sure.
Listen, I was able to, in that time that you talked about Uncharted 3 for 10 hours, I was able to find more, so we're good.
So, the game mechanic that we all think should be here is 100% Shadow of Mordor and the Nemesis system, right?
Yeah, it is an excellent system. It's not perfect, but it's very good.
Yeah, watching the potential opponents you have to face evolve and get stronger as the game goes on, and with so many variations in abilities and strengths, is so fucking clean.
It makes me wish. So there's a thing where you, as the player, can insert in Shadow of Mordor. So like basically, the damage system is there are enemies that like are the commanding officers, and you can eliminate them and weaken the ranks of the enemy thing, and they will eventually be replaced by new guys, and they will go through the ranks, and like so you can insert your own goons basically in that order, and they will like sabotage and help with that. That is great. That part of the system is so incredibly underdone, and like I would love if there was just so much more of that like mechanic there of like turning the Nemesis system into an ally system.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, just thinking off the top of my head, like it's the problem where the games that it comes to mind to use this system in are all like Assassin's Creed or Batman Arkham games, which are very much the same style of game, at least in terms of the combat and like progression system.
And that's why it would work so well.
But exactly, yeah, no, it'd be like, hey, here's the Joker's goons. Guess what? You got to beat hard-headed Tom to get to fucking Iceman. I was gonna say Iceman. His name's not Iceman. It's fucking Dr. Freeze. But you have to be, you got to beat Dr. Freeze's goons, and his head goon is hard-headed Tom. And it's like, okay, well, I gotta embarrass hard-headed Tom, and oh shit, now we got murderous Madge is taking his place, and now hard-headed Tom's gonna come back and try and fight me later in the game, and this time he's got an actual like steel plate on his head because I embarrassed him in front of his goons. Like there are so many cool uses for this. I mean, I also can't. I mean, everybody has seen the videos of like if you keep embarrassing an orc leader, like what it does to them in the game, which just like is so fucked up.
Oh, I haven't actually seen those. What happens?
So like at a certain point, because it gives them like a bonus. It like Hayo is in the chat. He'll be able to help me with this. But I think it like lowers certain stats on them, but also raises some stats on them. And like there's one example of like a YouTube video I've seen where they've like embarrassed somebody like 30 times in a row. So they like get like leveled, they get stronger because they want to beat you so bad, but they like lose their mind in the process, and the person like cuts his like the person is crazy, and then at one point they cut their own tongue out. And so it shows the progression over time, and it's like you're fighting this orc, and his name originally was like Utharg the Impaler, and you're like, oh shit, I gotta fight Utharg. He's got his spears. What's his game? Blah blah blah. And then eventually it becomes like, here's Utharg the Mad, and he just goes rah, 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 rah. And as soon as you get into the fight with him, and you're like, what is going on?
Wait, no, this kicks ass.
Yeah, exactly. That's
awesome.
why this system should be used in more games. It's so good.
I actually really wish they had done something like that in Ghost.
Yeah,
it would have fit very well.
Yeah.
Hayo in the chat says there's a chance they can go insane and their stats jump to like critical mass. Exactly. It gets
cool.
Some of the stuff that people have done with the Nemesis system in the literal 2 games that has been implemented in are just so cool, and I want it to be used more, and I feel like it could be used in so many more games, but it's not.
Yeah, I mean, Odyssey had like a very, very, very bare bones version of it with like the mercenaries and stuff, but it was nowhere near that depth because like you just killed them every time. There wasn't like growth.
The mercenary system in Mario Odyssey is crazy.
when that one Goomba went insane.
Yeah, every time you throw your hat on an enemy, you can choose to control it or let it go free to come back stronger and try to kill you.
When Cappy leaves an entity, he has to decide whether or not to give its mind back.
Jesus.
Cappy is the most powerful entity in the Mario universe. I don't want to fucking hear anything.
I mean, that's true, but Jesus.
You're not wrong.
My God.
Just wait till you see his stand.
But yes, the Nemesis system is a marvelous example of what we're talking about here. Systems that are great and have cool functionality are inexplicably just not used ever at all.
I really don't understand. Like, you don't even need like any game where you have like targeted objectives that are like killing people or like moving up.
Any open world adventure game could find some form of it. Again, Zach said that like the two ones I think are the coolest, like Assassin's Creed and the Arkham games.
Yeah, even
even the Arkham games. Like, imagine if like each like crime lord owned a part of the city, and you could like if you just kept taking out Joker henchmen, like his part of the city would get weaker, but like there's so much cool stuff you could do with being able to influence like the balance of power in an open world game.
Yeah, I think that would have been really cool in like the Spider-Man PS4 game too.
Yeah,
because like they had all the henchmen and like the different gangs in each area. You could just like assign head henchmen. You end up having like mini boss fights with each of them too. That would have been super cool. But yeah, pretty much any open world action game. You're right.
Yeah, would be cool.
All right, anyone want to go next?
I was able to cobble some other ones.
Go for it.
You guys can tell me if this is nothing, but couch co-op. That's more of just it's died in the last few years.
Yeah, it's died, and I really wish it hadn't.
Yeah.
I understand why it died, but no, fuck.
Doesn't mean it's not sad.
Totally. And the other idea was like not. So in a lot of games not recently, but like over the last few years, there's been a conversation of like enemies that level up with the player, and that like kind of sucks because it is fun to have like the power fantasy of like I'm leveling up, I'm getting stronger. So now if I go back to this area, I can
do everything.
Yeah, just stomp on these guys because it feels good. I am like 10 levels higher. I can just crush you. But this was the example I'm thinking of was in not Resident Evil, Metal Gear Solid 3, in which like if you were headshotting a lot of henchmen, they would like in the later parts of the game they would start wearing helmets more often.
MGS5 also has this.
Yeah.
Yes, MGS5 did also have this, but like game like concepts like that where like enemies adapt to what your techniques are. Like if you get super streamlined on like, okay, well, my tactic is going to be, I don't know, pinning enemies to a wall or something like that. They would have some kind of thing to like prevent you from doing that, or like to at least put you at a disadvantage if you kept using that same technique over and over and over again. I think that is a lot more interesting than just being like, okay, well, enemies have more HP because you've been playing the game for 10 hours.
I think I was gonna say, I think it's more interactive too, because like think any game that has scaling enemies. Like if you're in your first few levels, you fight some fucking like rabid dogs that are level 5, and then at the end of the game you're like near god mode and the dogs are like level 90 now, and it's like, well, I can't one shot a dog anymore. Like I can take down a near god, but I can't like a dog is still difficult for me.
Hayo does point out Shadow of War also does that.
God.
So what we've discovered here is that Shadow of War is the best game ever made.
Is the perfect video game.
But even that adaptive thing, I'm gonna use Ghost as an example just because I played it more recently. But like, if you like challenge enemies a ton with like using more samurai sword tactics, and we're like, hey, I'm gonna challenge people every time. Eventually, the guards should probably learn not to accept random samurai challenges, and when you stand there and be like, let's have a standoff, they just shoot you with a bow. Like, or maybe you're using the like wind stance or whatever that's good against shields the most, and so they stop giving you shield enemies, period. They're just like, here's a bunch of spear guys.
I mean, that's something that I was actually gonna say. I think Ghost does the opposite of this, where it's like this game will seed the path you choose, whether you choose to continuously play more samurai or more Ghost, and it will completely ignore your decisions.
That is interesting.
And the game will play exactly the same, and they'll be like, why are you using Ghost tactics? And it's like, I'm fucking not, Charles.
Yeah, Charles.
I didn't feel that way about it.
Whose name is Charles?
Yeah, Charles Nobunaga.
And he's in charge.
He's very ambitious. He's very ambitious as well.
God.
That was a Charles in Charge Nobunaga's ambition reference for all you kids at home,
Jesus
People.
Christ.
which I think Persian I deserve some kind of award for.
Oh, that was very good.
You have a point. Here you go. Points don't matter on this show. They don't exist.
Hey.
Hell yeah.
I'm still taking it.
Chris or Pridge, you guys got any
All right, I got one for my Hio 590s in the chat. Hear me out.
Anything to do with RuneScape.
Oh god damn it, I knew it.
Okay. Hear me the fuck out.
Okay.
So
Every part of RuneScape is terrible, and nothing that RuneScape did should ever be implemented. I hear you.
You disgust me. Look, I'm not gonna say here and say that RuneScape is the perfect MMO. It is, but you guys wouldn't believe me if I said that. The thing is that RuneScape has a very, very clever skill system, and it's not like the concept of the more you use a skill, the more you level it up. This exists in a lot of things. Skyrim, for example, a game that is terrible. But all that to say that, like, so the way the RuneScape skill system works and why I think it is actually good is that it has an inherent thing in it where there is basically for each of the skills there are 99 levels, which means there is skill number times 99 permutations of different ways your individual character can be geared, and different things in all of the skill trees as well as the quests in the game all require different things of you and require you to have allocated your like time to level up your skills differently. And then overall it's video games 101. As you progress, you get better at things. That's very obvious, but I feel like it was
I'm sorry. So what you're saying is that you should be allowed to level up your abilities in a video game.
What I'm saying is that is a very simple core concept. But the way RuneScape does it is that you are basically rewarded for leveling up a different variety of skills, and the skills are leveled up completely apart from each other. Like there's not like a connective thread that really. You can play the game entirely without even doing combat. That is a completely valid way of playing RuneScape, and it's my all this to say the wild thing I think about is like it is a great skill system that uses a completely like different way of like it doesn't force you to incorporate everything you've learned. It benefits you if you do that though. Like you can play the game entirely with just ignoring certain parts of the game, and your experience can be exactly the same. It's different, it's endlessly different, but it's still you're still getting the same main beats of the game.
Mark in the chat says there's shit in the game that I wouldn't be able to do in under 500 or more hours of the game. How does that make you feel?
It's an MMO.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's how pretty much all MMOs work.
Hey, you're gonna if you want to go be end game in Final Fantasy 14 right now, enjoy dumping 355 hours of your life into it.
Oh,
ouch.
That's
I mean,
this is what
I mean,
you want to go play WoW? You're gonna genuinely. I bet you if you tried to vanilla experience play all of WoW without doing all the skip shit they added in from beginning to current, it would take you near 1,000 hours.
Oh, you mean like not doing all the like level squishing and stuff that they did?
Yeah, none of that shit. If you tried to play,
but they realized themselves that the game's too big, so they made it smaller.
I mean, all I have to say to that is wow.
Thanks. That was helpful.
Woo! Okay. Next topic.
Oh my
please.
god!
Wow, I don't want to play that game. Thank you. How about that?
Pridge.
RuneScape is completely underrated. It's an excellent MMO.
Yeah, okay.
Pridge, watch that joke out of all of our mouths.
All right. So the first one I want to bring up is actually a game that I'm pretty sure a mechanic that I'm pretty sure only one series does. And that's the Blitz combat system from Valkyria Chronicles.
Ooh, yeah.
Kids at home, what the Blitz?
Yeah. So Blitz stands for Battle of Live Tactical Zones.
Oh my god, I fucking hate video games.
I know, right? That's a dumb sounding name.
I didn't know that that's what that stood for, and I do hate that it is that, but
yes,
damn.
The Battle of Live Tactical Zones, in case you were curious, and I doubt you were. But how the Blitz systems works is basically a map of Valkyria Chronicle, like your turn, Valkyria Chronicles is a tactics game, and your turn is basically 3 phases of. Each time you move a unit, there's 3 phases to it. The first one is have an over the top, your classic tactics map. You're looking over everything, and you choose a unit to move. When you click on a unit to move, it goes into third person, which is called the action mode. And in that one, you actually move your soldier to where you want them to go, or just not move them. And then finally, you do the targeting mode, which then switches the perspective from third person into essentially a first person shooter where you actually take your shots at the target. So it's like a combination of like classic tactics games, but then randomly you have much more control over how you move your unit, and then even beyond that, there's a first person shooter element. And just combined, it's a really unique mechanic, and I think it actually plays really, really well in those games. And I think different genres of tactics games, it'd be worth trying out. Like, obviously, you get criticized for ripping off Valkyria Chronicles, but I still think someone should try it. It's crazy 100%. Fun.
Video games rip off each other all the time.
Yeah, exactly. It's just
so does all form of media, but yes.
It's really quite fun. It puts a big different spin on tactics games. And again, I think it's cool, and some other genres could definitely try. It's like other settings, because Valkyria Chronicles is basically fantasy World War II, including fantasy Jews and fantasy concentration camps, which is a little weird at times.
Very much is.
Yeah, a little weird at times, but it's still overall very good games. But I'd love to see that same.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
You can have characters on your own team that have the status effect racist, basically.
Yeah. Whoa!
And if you put them next to a character that is like. You can explain it.
Yeah, the race of the Darksons is what they're called, and there are a very small number of units who have the trait called Darkson Hater, where they will be worse at combat if they are near someone of that race. As a personal thing, I always bench every racist. I do not put any racists on my team because I'm not about that life.
XCOM, eat your heart out.
go back to the bench racists. But yes, you can straight up have racists on your team.
Yep, it's pretty wild.
So this was not planned, but the game I'm going to talk about, actually, their characters are in Valkyria Chronicles.
Okay, I was hoping we get to this. I was hoping we get to this.
I'm curious which one you think it is. So Skies of Arcadia is the one I'm going with.
Yeah, it had to be Skies.
Yeah, it's Vice and
Ica and Fiona. Or Fina, sorry, not Fiona. So there is a mechanic from this game that I have never seen in another game, and that is the strategic ship/airship battles.
I will let you speak on this, but I do have a counterpoint, so please go on.
And there might be more. That's fine. I just haven't played them. So this game is mostly a Final Fantasy style turn-based tactics game where your character is fighting other characters. There's some weird AoE stuff that's not really in Final Fantasy, but other than that, it's pretty standard turn-based. Where it gets interesting is the airship battles. The airship battles are turn-based, sort of. So they're turn-based, but you don't actually always know when the other team's gonna go, when they're going to do certain things. They give you some visual, audio, and strategic hints for what they're gonna do, but your ship can just get totally fucked if you're not paying attention to some of the cues. They do boss fights really well in this. They basically each character in your team controls a part of the ship for each turn that you take. So one you can have use the guns, one you can have use magic, one you can have fire torpedoes, one can steer and try and be evasive. And it ends up just being a really cool way of doing a turn-based combat game that doesn't feel it doesn't feel just like you're running through the motions each time. And I think they especially do a great job with the way they do boss battles with this, because there are a ton of boss battles with ships. I would say they're probably equal amount of on foot and ship boss battles in this game, where the they give you a lot of those visual cues. You have to do things that aren't just kill the enemy, because some of the bosses you straight up can't kill. They're too powerful. Like your ship's a little tiny whaling ship, and these things are the sizes of a small city. And like you have to kind of either trick them and use that stuff instead of actually killing them. And I think it's just a really great system. And I haven't. Zach might have another example where it does exist, but I have not seen a system like that in any other games.
My complaint wasn't that I have another example. It was that the reason I have never finished Skies of Arcadia is because there was a boss battle about halfway through the game in this ship mode that I got to, and I didn't have a way to prep my ship better. And I got it was like I beat a boss in a dungeon and then instantly had to flee that dungeon in my ship because I was getting attacked.
Which one you're talking.
I'm sure you do. And
It's the Fire Temple one, right?
Yep. And I literally was unable to beat it. And I was like, well, I just wasn't prepared for this fight. And my only option is to reload my save from right before the boss room, walk however long it's going to be to leave leave this temple, go to the nearest city, buy the items to prep my ship better, and then come back, go all the way through. And I was like, guess what, guys? I'm sorry. Tales of Symphonia. I'm closing the book on this. Sorry, Skies of Arcadia. You're grounded. This is done.
You're a weenie, dude. You can beat that fight with the stock items in the game.
So the moral of the story is
Zach.
That's fair.
Zach didn't like Final Fantasy X because of Blitzball.
That, to be fair, the ship combat would be difficult as a kid. Like a lot of that was a lot of subtle cues that you wouldn't think of as a child to pay attention to. So
I would love to go back and try it, but yeah, it was like I was probably 12 or 14 playing it on the Dreamcast, and I was like, I don't get this.
Oh, I played the GameCube one. I think they toned down some of the ship battles on the GameCube one.
Makes more sense.
But yeah. No, never seen it. They had a cool recruiting system that's not in most games too, but that is in some at least. Any other suggestions, Zach, for your next one?
Oh, okay. I suppose this is more situational with the hardware, but I know Pridge will 1,000,000% back me up on this. But there's a game that is extremely unique and extremely beloved by the people who've played it, and that game is called The World Ends With You. And the reason
you said my name, I knew that's what it was gonna be. And this is funny to me. And I'll let you talk about it first.
Oh shit! Remarkable Me brings up a great example, but I'll get to that in a bit. The reason that people, there's a variety of reasons people love The World Ends With You. The story, the world building is fantastic. The characters are all great. So much of the concept is fantastic, but when you get into the nitty gritty of the moment to moment gameplay, it is, yes, you're walking around. It is that random encounter, scenario where you're just walking. Oh shit! Fights. Here's what's going on. But it took advantage of the, I believe this came out in the original DS, right? Nintendo DS.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where you played, couldn't tell you his name on the bottom screen.
Neko.
Yes, and on the top screen, you throughout the game had different partners who would play there, and you could influence their moves. You could essentially kind of control them through using the buttons, which you would use with either your left or right hand, depending on if you're left or right-handed. And you would use the stylus to control your main character on the bottom screen. The very interesting thing about this game is that depending on who your assistant character is, they be controlled differently. So like the character at the start of the game, what was her gimmick? I cannot remember.
She could infuse her power into her stuffed plushie, which she would launch as an attack.
But like her mechanic for controlling her was like you had combos, right? It was like you do left, up, down, or
There were much more generic fighting ones. Another dude had playing cards.
The second guy was math, right?
That's one of the villains who had to do with math.
Oh, I thought the character you control was like math, where it'd be like on the you'd be fighting on the bottom screen, and the top screen would be like 4 + 5 equals, and you're like, fuck shit, 9. And then if you hit the wrong button though, he'd be like, his combo would stop, and you'd be like, shit, and then he would just get dumpstered, and then all the enemies would focus on your character, and it'd be like, fuck, I'm bad at this game. Which is also, fun fact, why I never finished The World Ends With You.
I didn't finish it. It's a shit game.
There's a trend today, Zach.
That's fine.
Trend of Zach not finishing games, man. Because they're too hard.
Listen,
it's funny because I love The World Ends With You, but I think that battle system is so weird and like doesn't necessarily work like in the slightest at times.
I assume part of why people like this because the battle system is cool.
No, yeah, I mean it's unique, but I think people love that game because its style and aesthetic are fucking gorgeous. Its story is phenomenal, and its characters are really memorable. I think the fighting system is unique, but I don't think I'd ever want to see that fighting system again.
Fair. Damn.
I played it once. It worked for this game. It worked for this concept. Please don't ever include this anywhere else.
Hey, this is Zach saying, fuck me.
I do like Arcade Fan in the chat with, wait, dual screen gameplay on the Nintendo dual screen? Wild.
No. Am I Christian Minecraft server? I never.
I mean, I have like maybe one more thing, but I'd rather just other people talk because we've already been going for 1 hour and 10 minutes.
Chris, go for it.
Okay, hear me out.
No.
I feel like I'm gonna hate this.
Chronicle RuneScape Legends.
I don't even know what that is.
Hear me the fuck out. It's not related to RuneScape basically at all other than the title, which is why the game failed. Chronicle RuneScape Legends is a asymmetric card game. So imagine if you were playing Slay the Spire against another player.
Oh, that sounds awful.
and imagine you also like card games, Fridge.
No, the thing is, like, I like Slay the Spire, but like, I feel like it would just be who draws better. Okay, I feel like that'd be 99% of the game is who draws better.
That's every card game.
So what it is that yeah, that's true. That's every card game.
Okay, fine. It changes from 99 to 99.5%. Just who draws better.
Here's how it works, though. So you select basically a path to go on, and you go through encounters. Basically, they can either be like a shop, or you find an item, or you fight a thing, or you have to like solve a puzzle, or like fix an item or something. And you have to use the resources and cards you collect along the way in order to do this. And then at each individual, at set points that you are aware of, you will the next encounter will be against the person you're playing against. And so it's basically like you have to figure out how your opponent is playing based upon each individual encounter that you go up against them, and then continue to build your deck in such a way that you will be ready to face them. And the drops are set in such a way that as long as you complete all of the objectives or whatever, you will receive the same amount of things. Whether it's like a different resource or not isn't the point, but like this, you'll receive the same fundamental pool of like capability.
I hate card games, so I have no input on this.
Yeah, I mean, it's I understand and I sympathize with you. It is a good system, but it is also like Pridge said, it is very luck based of like, well, if you get a good batch of cards on your like upgrade or whatever you want to call it, then like you're in a better position.
You've described every card game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I don't like playing card games PvP. I like Slay the Spire because it's PvE.
I do like.
But that's the thing, it's PvE, and then sometimes it's PvP. It's a great system.
Can we just agree that you, Chris, and Rob in the chat love games that start with rune? You just want more games that start rune.
Games that contain the name RuneScape within the.
How's that foot feel in your own fucking mouth, you dumb
I
idiot?
fucking hate you.
Fine. Danganronpa. What do you want? Fuck off.
That's a good game.
Oh god, Pridge, you got
Go
something
next.
else?
I don't get to fucking say anything about RuneScape.
You already spent 10 minutes talking about RuneScape.
He spent 11 talking about Uncharted. Checkmate. I'm out. Give me my banana chips.
Pridge, save us.
All right, I'll come back in again. So I'm going to use two different games. They aren't the exact same thing, but they're similar in the concept I want to talk about. I want to talk about tactics-based mini games or mode type games and non-tactics games. My examples are Chronicles of the Sword in Soul Cal 3 and Galactic Conquest in Star Wars Battlefront 2.
My God, Pridge, I have never loved you as much as I do in this moment.
Yeah, I love you right now, dude. Yes.
Bring back fun tactics modes in games that aren't supposed to have them, so I can take a break and get a different taste on the core gameplay loop. Because if done right, they're super fucking fun. Galactic Conquest was the best.
I fucking loved Galactic
Chronicles of the Sword and
Conquest.
SoulCal, the fucking best. It was so goofy and out of place, but I love taking a break from just a fighting game to play this weird story mode tactic fucking weird ass shit. That was
Soul
awesome.
Calibur is one of the best examples of, I don't know, fuck it, let's try this. Who gives a shit? Who's gonna stop me?
I know, right?
Well, like those type of mechanics remind me most of like the Total War series, in that there's an overworld map sort of thing, and then you go into a place that is like, okay, your strategic skill, if you're not playing a Total War game, you're playing something else like a FPS or a third-person shooter or whatever, completely changes the course of it. It's like, okay, there's tactics involved, but realistically, if you're good enough at the game, the tactics don't super matter. They're just there for fun.
Right.
Oh man, God, that was a good pull. Fuck.
That was a good one.
Fucking
Yeah,
Galactic
It literally
Conquest.
wanted me to go. I almost wanted to go pull out my PlayStation 2 just so I could play around Galactic Conquest because I like
You know they have Battlefront on Steam, right?
the original ones. 'Cause
Yes.
that was definitely
Yes.
Really?
They have the original 2 on Steam.
And 2 has online support.
2 has online support.
put online support. I just want to play Galactic Conquest.
Well, yeah, I'm just telling you, Star Wars Battlefront 2, the original, is on Steam.
Shit. All right. Well, maybe I have something else. Maybe I have something else to do this weekend between league day, between watching professional league. Then
And Remarkable Me in the chat says it's incredibly broken online, so maybe stick with the Galactic Conquest.
RK fan notes all I'm doing this for is talking about RuneScape. That's the plan.
Chris has 3 more, and they're all different RuneScape.
No, but my next 3 are absolute killers.
You should be
Oh,
allowed to
God.
chop trees in a video game. Thank you.
fishing mini
More fishing mini games.
All right.
My ideal game is wall-to-wall mini games. It's no actual game.
I have
Man.
talked about this next game before, so I'm not going to spend long on it. Radiata Stories.
Yes.
They have a fucking living world of magical recruitment and character schedules, unlike anything I've ever seen. There's a day-night cycle. Every character has a full from from dawn till dusk and past schedule that they go through in this like relatively open world. You can interact with them at any time. Their schedules change multiple times throughout the games as the story progresses. It's fucking amazing. They spend a ton of time on this. There's like 120 characters.
Oh my god.
The amount of time they spent making all of this stuff is bonkers and great because every single person's also recruitable. So it's just, I've never seen anything like that before. Watch Dogs Legion looks like it might have a procedurally generated version of it, where every character that you can recruit has a schedule, but I think they just generate it on the fly as soon as you interact with the character. I don't think it's like as in depth with what the character is, but man, I want that shit back. It was so good. That's it.
I do love that. Hi in the chat and said, "Ugh, NPCs walking around. More RuneScape, please."
PCs walking around. Ugh.
Unfortunately, we're out of RuneScape to talk about because I'm not going to talk about 3 like some sort of psychopath.
I guess my third thing would just be more characteristics from immersive sims like BioShock, like Prey, like I don't know if it technically counts, but like the Dishonored series. In particular, I'm more interested in the level design of these games, where it is very much like honestly, how you spec yourself can completely change the way you approach a level or like an area of the game, and that is like very fully realized in the way the level design is made. Like, I mean, I'll never forget in Prey being like, okay, well, I'm gonna like there was an area early on that was like, okay, well, you need like level 4 hacking to break this thing. And I was like, okay, well, I'm very early in the game. I'm sure I'll be able to get to this some point. But part of me was like, fuck developing like the characteristics that will make me better in combat. I really want to hit level 4 hacking. And I got it early. And so I got up there and I was like, cool. Now I have this gun that can just delete enemies because I spent the time.
Now I have a gun that can kill God.
Exactly. And it was like, okay, well, there's no reason. But then here's the thing. Apparently, I found this out after I did that. There's another way to get in there without having to level your shit up crazy, because the game's level design is so like, oh, well, if you would have realized there's this air vent, and if you had level 2 strength to rip the door off the air vent, you could go through and then get. And it's the multiple ways that you can solve a problem, the many ways you can skin a cat in these games is so impressive to me, and I wish more games cared enough to do that.
I didn't know where you were going with it from at the beginning, but I had a similar thing for Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines actually on my list.
That's a perfect example of like literally you can create a character that is so vastly different, and they can have such completely diverging paths, but end up in the same spot. Of like,
you can literally make a character in that game that's so ugly you can't walk on the street. You have to be in the sewers the whole time, which is no other character has to do, and other ones that just hear shit talking to him the whole time. It's great.
I mean, the original wasn't the original Fallout. Well, most Fallout games, you make a character so stupid that you can't beat the game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Your intelligence is low enough.
Yep.
Yeah. Your response would be like, Hergderg, I don't know.
You can't understand people, and you literally just mumble like a moron. Which is pretty great.
It's hilarious.
All right, Chris, give us one of your bangers.
So we're going bangers.
RuneScape.
Hear me out. Honey Pop. I can explain.
Listening.
Okay.
More high quality games that are undeniably horny.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'll agree with you that.
I'm calling for
I'm fine with that.
I'm calling for the legitimization of, that's not a word. Legitimizing of like porn games, basically, because there's no reason I can't have a game that is just insanely horny, but still has like a gripping narrative or what the fuck ever.
Just wait for.
Are we claiming Honey Pop has a gripping narrative?
No. But it is a competently made dating sim with a good Bejeweled ripoff inside of it.
That is like
the puzzle part is pretty fun.
That is like saying, listen, I subscribe to Playboy because I love reading the articles. Fuck you.
Hey man, I play Honey Pop for those mini games, for that puzzle game.
It's a really good puzzle game.
No, but saying it's for the story is
no. I'm saying that I would like a well-made, fully it's not gonna be AAA because fucking that ain't gonna sell.
That's not gonna work.
Fucking AA or really cool, well done indie that has like, hey, this is just a fucking porn game, but also good combat and a story.
I will direct you to Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 when that comes out.
I will hesitantly be like, we'll see.
That game's kind of horny. Not like porn game horny, but definitely horny.
Not horny enough.
Let me check my notes here. I believe the phrase I said was undeniably horny.
Fair enough. Don't play that game. Won't be horny enough.
Then what's the point?
Oh, that was a good. I literally saw a Reddit comment like yesterday that was like, Honey Pop, actually a good game.
It is.
I'm getting the sequel when it comes out. Sorry.
I know.
That's gonna happen.
But don't get
Hi-
the spin-off game. It's terrible.
Oh, yeah,
Higher
I
words.
know.
Higher words is very well. Legitimization is a word. Horny games are either good games or good at being horny. Double dipping detracts.
Damn.
I think it
It's-
should. We should find a way where it doesn't detract.
I can only think of one game
I've got
that
it.
that bridges the gap, and I will not mention that on stream.
Is it Valhalla Cyberpunk Bartending? 'Cause that game's
Oh,
horny.
No, we
No.
talked about it before. It's called Katawa Shoujo.
it's also not that.
That's a visual novel. That's a little different.
Yeah, visual novels are kind of cheating. There
Still-
has to be a game present.
It's still a game.
Mm,
It's a choose your own adventure game. Pridge.
Not,
yeah, so it's a fucking Goosebumps novel. Get the fuck out of here.
It's not a visual novel. What I'm talking about is
There's a lot of horny visual novels.
for sure. It says visual novels aren't games, fool. That's a book.
Ah.
What was this episode about?
Visual novels, not games.
About,
Okay.
about RuneScape, I believe.
And
That's
RuneScape.
nice.
Visual novels and RuneScape.
Why are,
Damn.
why are we not a bigger channel if that's all we talk about?
Eat ass.
Do you have anything else, Fridge?
Is there a visual novel where
The slight variation on the classic Final Fantasy formula that's in Child of Light. That's really fun. The ability to swap to constantly swap your party members out in battle as a core mechanic, and also the ability to interfere with the timelines of when you get to move, so you can slow down enemies, or if you hit them very close to when they're supposed to go, it bumps them down the line. It's basically that classic Final Fantasy gameplay, but they add some nice spice to it.
They stole that from Grandia.
Well, then more games should do what Grandia does then.
And also, Fractured But Whole uses that, which I'm pretty sure since Child of Light was also a Ubi published game, that's why they did it.
Either way, the moral of the story is play Child of Light. It's an amazing game.
Yeah.
So it does make me think of Bravely Default and the way it messes with your
job
turn-based. Well,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
yeah, you can choose to
choose
hold
default
your
number,
turn up to 4 turns in a row, and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden have 4 turns all at once. Or you can choose to expend 4 turns all at once, and then you'd have to wait 4 turns to move again. If you
Yep.
fail to kill the enemy by going all out, then you are fucked.
Octopath has this as well. I mean, same devs, but Octopath does it too.
It's a good system.
Oh yeah, Octopath does it in a
Yeah.
slightly different way, but yeah, Octopath does do it
I
too.
Octopath does it in a slightly better way.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
I mean, similar teams worked on it, so
Oh, it's not the same team?
I don't think it's the exact same. Could be wrong.
Can I talk about Pyre?
Yeah, go for it.
So Pyre
We'll always talk about Pyre.
Pyre's it's a super giant game. I love super giant games. This is not my favorite one. Whatever. But it does feature something that I wish more games would do, which is here's this epic fantasy landscape. Here's all this character development. Here's a story. You're playing a fucking sports game, asshole.
You
Fuck
are.
yeah! This is in the same vein as the time Spike Lee directed an NBA game. I want more sports games with ridiculous stories. I want to kill God in a game of fucking football. I want to
Okay.
save the day by beating the main villain in fucking table tennis. Let's fucking go.
Rockstar's table tennis.
All I have to say about this. And also make up more dumb fake sports. The fake basketball game in Pyre is great.
That's also true. It is really fun.
It's a great core game. I wish the overall I wish everything about it was a little different, but it's a great concept, and I can't believe that considering what games are that we haven't there's not more dumb ripoffs of sports games that are genuinely good. Blitzball is an example of this where the dumb ripoff is terrible.
It's certainly not good, yeah.
You're not wrong, yeah.
But I love Blitzball because it's stupid.
Oh, okay. I got one quick one and then a couple honorable mentions. Do you guys have anything else?
Yeah, I'm basically done.
Okay.
So
I
So
want to talk about what's sorry. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, go.
okay, my quick one is more of a game design thing than a mechanic. Psychonauts, and I'm not going to any mechanics because the mechanics of that game are really generally not good.
All right.
But game design wise, they use the minds of characters as levels. I cannot believe no one else is doing this.
Yeah, that's true.
I cannot believe. Well, okay, Persona,
Very
yes.
true.
But that's it. It's like Persona, and even Persona is a very different method of doing it.
And that really speaks to your point. Is like this is an incredibly deep well of a concept that has only been scratched twice.
Yeah, like where the fuck is it?
There are two interpretations, and they both kick ass.
Yes, that was my whole point for that. Did you get something right, Chris?
This isn't like I don't love this game. I actually hate this game. But the concept here I think is so smart. Smite, the third person MOBA, like the down, like not top down's the wrong term, like the third person over the shoulder MOBA. That it blows me away. First of all, that's a great concept, and another like I wish a game that was,
incredible.
I wish a game handled by a better company did that, because Hi-Rez is a dog shit company that can't make games. They're the Blizzard of being Hi-Rez.
Lol.
That doesn't make any fucking sense.
It makes no sense at all.
But I meant every word of it. It's wild to me that like when we see something like the MOBA or the Battle Royale appear, we see 100 copies that are the same fucking thing but slightly tweaked, and not the same thing, but we change one core aspect of it to make it way different and endlessly different. Like you can have the exact same ability in League of Legends and in Smite, and they work entirely differently based on the way that Smite's camera works.
Yeah, I mean, other games tried it. What was that game from?
Drop Zone was like the RTS style.
No, it was a Epic Games game. Paladins, something like that.
Paladins was the Overwatch ripoff.
Oh, they had a mobile one too. I forget what it's called.
Oh, I don't know.
Shit.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the name though.
Epic Games MOBA.
Oh wait,
Paragon.
Oh, Paragon was great. Paragon was great. Got canceled because of Fortnite.
Yep.
Partially, yeah. And it wasn't really making money because no one played it.
It had been in beta for a million fucking years. They never actually released the goddamn thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to get into the beta.
I mean, Fortnite was in beta for longer, but
Fortnite failed. Fuck off.
Well, I mean, Fortnite Save the World failed.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm with you though. The few companies that did it, I can't believe none of them really shut off.
Like Fall Guys' example. If that is a battle royale that they took the combat out.
Yeah,
and it's fucking great.
Here's a good example. Orcs Must Die. They took tower defense and made it essentially Smite.
Yeah.
Why aren't there more of these? All the examples listed are great.
Yep.
People really love Orcs Must Die. I mean, I'm mad just because it was the remnants of Ensemble Studios.
Yeah.
Who I think made way better games before that, but it is what it is, I guess.
Gotta make more.
Orcs fun one. All right, I got a serious one. That's a quick shout out, and a joke one. That's a quick shout out.
Okay.
Serious one. Chow Garden.
That's a serious one, huh? Okay.
The Chow Garden was the best part of Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Why was that not in other things?
The Sonic and Shadow levels were the only, I would even say great, but good part of that game. And then, yes, those were the next best thing. And then the rest was terrible.
Chow Gardens were great. I don't want to hear anything. Last one, also definitely a joke one. Digimon World 1, having to take care of your Digimon shit.
Mega Man Battle Network. Oh, I do remember that. Mega Man Battle Network.
Yeah. The fact that literally only one other game has done it is pretty wild.
It was great. You had a little Digimon pet. It was a Tamagotchi, but 3D, and it had to poop sometimes, and there were just random toilets throughout the world. It was great. Can't imagine why that didn't go in other games. Can't fucking imagine.
Japan loves poop. Look at Kojima.
That's true. That's very true.
They have a legit, I want to say it's a museum dedicated to poop, and it has a giant swirly gold poop on top of the building.
I was desperately hoping you were going to say it has a giant statue of Hideo Kojima inside of it.
That'd be very funny though.
Just like Blizzard, they love their fucking poop.
I got
missions.
some shout outs here. Tooth and Tail. It was a strategy game in which you only control one unit, and you are basically like the rallying unit, and you have to like maneuver to like encourage your the other like basically NPCs to fight better and to you have to like show them how to move and stuff like that. Really cool concept. The game was I mean it was a one and done, but it's got a really cool campaign. It's Animal Farm the game.
Okay.
It's all about communism. And then Rising Thunder, the best fighting game since Street Fighter Third Strike, which those bastards at Riot Games won't give me.
I love that it's not just mechanics, it's just this game is good. Please give me the game.
Oh no, it is. It's we took everything everyone hates about fighting games out of fighting games.
I'm giving you shit. Like the shit museum.
Hey.
Please, the Hideo Kojima ship museum.
Oh man. Any quick mechanic or game shout outs, Zachary?
No, I'm good.
I'm good.
All right. Any plugs? Anything?
I'll have a new video essay up tomorrow. It's on the most interesting video game developer you've never heard of. His name is Diego Angel. He started Angel Studios, which then became Rockstar San Diego, which made Red Dead Redemption. So be on the lookout for that.
He is.
Red Dead Revolver.
Red Dead Revolver is the one he made.
Yeah, he was there for Red Dead Revolver. He left before they made Red Dead Redemption.
But he's definitely the most interesting developer in the world.
He is very cool. And that's all I can say on that. It'll be up tomorrow. Check it out.
Check out Tales from Runeterra, our D&D actual play podcast set in the world of League of Legends bullshit. It's one of the hardest. Like I've worked on very few things as hard as I've worked on this. It is my child. It's the episode that went up this week is, I think, the best episode of something I have produced ever, and that includes the 67 episodes of television and one movie that I worked on.
God damn.
Fuck those.
It's very good.
You heard it here first, folks. Fucking watch that shit.
It's very good. It's very, very good. Shout out to the Gaunt Man.
Shout out to the Gaunt Man.
It's like a Pogue song.
The who? It does sound like a Pogue song.
Oh, Pridge, you got anything?
No.
All right. I don't think I have anything. Tune into Around the Monitor on Thursdays, 4:30 Pacific, 7:30 Eastern. And this show will hopefully be back again bi-weekly. So that's all I got. This has been Around the Controller. Have a nice weekend, everybody.
Thanks, y'all.
I don't know if it's
Bye, everyone.